Hello everyone, welcome to my Dragonbane solo campaign. We're firmly into chapter 4. We just finished up waypoint 2 and 3, heading towards waypoint 4. Let's see, well, where we left off, waypoint 2 and waypoint 3, pretty fine. Waypoint 2 was a little more tame, like I was worried it was going to be. We ended up having a nice meal with some lizardmen, though. How bad can that be? Sharing a nice breakfast with some fairly nice, scaly fellows. And we managed to traverse a low point in the swamp. Managed to roll some double dragons in there. Did not end up upsetting anybody in the process. That's always a good thing. So I think we are ready to mosey on over to waypoint 4. I lost my standees, so what did I do with them? Oh, here we are. There we go. Not that I use a whole lot of standees in here, except just for the sake of representation from that time. Okay, so let's do it. Let's go on to waypoint 4. I've written that one down. That is a written waypoint. As Izzek climbs out of the muck of the low point in the road, safely holding on to the rope attached to the tree, has grabbed a pork chop on his side. He manages to do so carefully without disturbing whatever it was that was in the water lurking around this area. So as he climbs to the other side, he unhooks the grappling hook. Let's have a little fun narrative. What the hell? So he managed to unhook it. As he's unhooking his grappling hook and rope from the tree on the far side of this road, he looks down at his hand, and on his hand is a large, disgusting, quickly bloating leech. As it kind of lets out a little squawk, tries to dislodge the leech from his hand, and that's when he feels it. There's more than one leech. He's crawling through this water. His body is covered in leeches. He starts freaking out. There's no other word for it. He starts screaming, "Get him off me! Get him off me! Get him off me!" Pork Chops kind of starts freaking out. He starts barking because why in the world is Izzek barking so loud? I'm not at that waypoint, but I just thought this would be kind of funny. He hurriedly reaches over to his pack, strapped to Pork Chop's back to grab out a torch and some of that oil and try to get these leeches, but he's screaming, "Get him off me! Oh my God, oh my God." He's like, there are leeches all over him. I think I will maybe roll. Maybe, it's not really a waypoint, but he's being loud enough. I'm putting him in a sticky situation. Is he going to attract attention by all his noise and racket that he's making as he's screaming about his body being attacked by leeches? Yes, no oracle. We're getting right into it today. I'm not messing around. 2. Oh, good. He's not going to attract any attention. Thank God. I wasn't prepared for that. He grabs some tinder and light and starts burning these leeches off his body. He's like, ugh. Mosquitoes are hovering around. As I mentioned, this is a bog and a swamp, and a fairly nasty one at that. He starts pulling leeches off of him. I might actually have him make a opposed con check for a disease. These are not nice leeches. These are not friendly leeches, but not super strong leeches. Let's see. I know I'm putting poor Izzek in a bad situation right from the start. Let me take a look again at my disease rules in here. As far as other hazards, I am going to put on his helm of protection so that he can roll a failed con check. But he's going to make an opposed con roll for a disease on here. I'm going to say it's not super virulent. Let's take a look. A moderate potency of 12 is good enough. I'll roll a d20 for the disease. Does this kick in at under a 12? Yes. Can I roll under my con? My con is a 14. Yes, so I do succeed in my con roll, but I also succeed in the disease roll. And I believe when it comes to that kind of opposed roll like that, if you win, you resist the disease. If you're not, you fall ill after 1 day and become sickly. I get a roll against this disease every day. Okay. So I do believe that's all it took for the opposed con roll, but I'm going to quickly look up the opposed con roll rules again real quick. Just to remind myself, I think it's in here. Opposed rolls. If your roll succeeds while your opponent succeeds, if you both succeed in your rolls, your action succeeds and your roll is lower than or equal to your opponent's result. Now, I rolled a 10. He rolled a 5. So I did fail. Opposed rolls can be pushed as well, but no, not really for a disease sort of thing. Not going to quite work. So the disease does kick in. Okay. Izzek has caught a leech disease as a result of these leeches. I will roll a healing roll when he makes camp tonight, because there is a healing roll here. If someone tends you with the healing skill while you're sick, I guess I'm going to say it gives me an extra check against the disease. I do have a herbal concoction that will allow me to add a boon. I got that way back. So, and I guess with my helm I could reroll a failure anyway. So he has concocted a horrible disease. You will fall ill after 1 day. Anyway, I'm going to make him camp soon. I'm going to keep these rules out. We'll re-roll at that point in time. But at least he didn't attract attention. That's where things were going to get interesting. So he cleans up, wipes the muck off, but he is not feeling well. Izzek's feeling sickly. He mounts back up on his horse. He's going to ride. It is daytime now. He shared breakfast with those lizardmen at their camp as the sun was coming up. He'd been traveling all night long from the Frog King camp. He started out at dusk when the sun came, or the moon rose, rode all night across the wetlands, and all the way well into the day, into the morning, early morning hours in this swamp. The swamp canopy is really heavy. It's not super well lit in here. No worries about direct sunlight. There isn't much of that except at various spots, but spots you can easily avoid by staying in the shade. But nevertheless, he's been riding probably for 16 hours. He's ready for a break, so is Porkchop. I think he's going to ride off for a while. Within an hour or so, he comes across another fork in the path. He knows he needs to make camp. As he looks off the path at this fork, it appears to kind of head off the road over to like maybe a rise, a hill out of the swamp, maybe a higher raised area hill. That might be a good spot for him to make camp. So he heads over that direction and makes camp for the day. It is our 4th waypoint. I will read it to you, and then we'll do camping rolls. Okay, waypoint 4. A large hill rises out of the swamp. Finally, a place to dry your boots and make camp for a few hours. To your surprise, covered in vines, toppled and reclining in the reeds, are ancient stone statues of 6 orc warriors. They seem to form a ring, all looking at the top crest of the hill. That's going to be our 4th waypoint. But I think it is going to make camp first. He sets up camp for the day. Let's first off see if he makes a successful bushcraft for the camp. That's the first stop on the trail. Let's see, where is his character sheet? I'll do a good bushcraft first to see if that's going to be a good long rest for us here. He has a tent, which gives him a boon on that bushcraft roll, if I remember correctly. His bushcraft is a 7. Wow, 9 and 8. So he failed his bushcraft roll, which will only give him the benefit of a short rest rather than a long one, unfortunately. But nevertheless, he still recovers a D6 hit points and a D6 willpower. 1 hit point. But he's still down a hit point. Wow. It's probably the disease that has him a little off track. Boy, my character sheet's getting worn out after 6 months. Okay. Now I'm going to try to roll that that resist disease again. The disease needs to roll under a 12 to be successful again. Disease succeeds. I need to roll under my con. I do get a reroll if I fail. I succeeded. I think I'm going to try to make a healing roll to see if I can reroll this for lower dice. I think that seems kind of appropriate. I'll still have a healing roll. Failed the healing roll. So even though we both succeeded, it still exceeded with a lower number. So I'm going to say Izzek is still impacted by that disease. After a long rest, he's going to lose a D6 hit points. 2 hit points as he gets hit with and racked by that disease. Poor Izzek. I was being quite mean giving him a disease for no good reason. All right, and he becomes sickly officially. We're just going to give him a bane on future rolls for that con check. Not great. Okay, so Izzek wakes up the next day. He is not feeling well. He camps for as much as he can be. He sleeps restlessly, feverishly. You can tell he's broke out in a fever. He's definitely gotten ill. And so his sleep is restless and not well. Although, you know what did I say though? I said that I could use that. You know, maybe I already used that. I don't see I have that ointment on me. Unless it's on pork chop. Well, you know that herbal concoction is on me here. I forgot. I do have that here. If a herbal concoction, I get a boon on that roll. I'm going to use that herbal concoction. I forgot I still have that out here under pork chops inventory. I got that way back when. From Quackenbush, the merchant, way back in chapter 2. Okay, so let me try that again. I'm going to roll those healing rolls on a boon. We'll try this and see if I can't get myself to re-roll this disease again. Even with a boon, that's a failure. Okay. Never mind. I guess I used my herbal concoction, but it was not helpful. He tries to treat his disease, but he still wakes up the next day feeling feverish and sickly. As he's packing up camp, that's when he first notices that buried under the reeds, he's looking around over here, hidden behind some bush, there's a statue of an orc warrior here. It's very old, worn, but that's clearly still what it is. He can tell. It's pitted with age, the stone is worn down, but this warrior is dressed in chainmail armor or scale armor of some sort, wielding a pike that has broken off at the tip. And it appears to be just facing the crest of the hill. This hill rises up. Izzek made camp at the base of it. The hill rises up from here. As this explores around, he notices another orc statue. Another orc statue there. And he makes a path around this hill. This hill isn't super huge, but he makes a path around it. There are 6 orc warriors at various, odd positions all around the base of this hill, all staring up to the top of the hill. Let's see. I wonder. I don't know if there's any writing on these. Let's pull out my oracles. I haven't done much with these sort of things. Determine what may be going on. Let's investigate these statues further. What kind of questions do I want to ask about these statues? Let's see. Do they have any writing on them or anything like that? Do a yes, no on that. 6, extreme yes. Okay, well, So these statues all have writings at the base of the statue. What are the writings going to say? I haven't really plotted out too much what my expectations are for this at the beginning. I think the statues are all, they all have a name on them. Perhaps the name of the orc that these statues are honoring. And they all mention the tribe name. I do have a tribe name written down, you know, from way back when. Let's see, where is that tribe name I had written down here? They all have a name of an orc warrior on there. And they all have the name, you know, hero of Clan Nar-Zir, which is obviously an orcish clan. Izzek kind of makes note of that. Maybe he'll try to make note of the names of these heroes in case they mean anything. They all appear to be from Clan Nar-Zir, whatever that means, and they all are facing the top of the hill. Izzek is feeling a little feverish, but he'll climb to the top of the hill and see what these statues are staring at, if anything. At the top of the hill, let's see, what is up there? I wonder if I should roll on the area table for that sort of thing. I don't think that's going to help me out much. I did make my own area table, but I'm wanting something more specific. No, I'm not really going with that kind of area. Where is my location tables in here? Oh, maybe we should roll on the inspiration table. Yeah, let's do that. I haven't planned much out on here. Let's see. First off, let's draw a tarot card. I did shuffle these. Oh, the King of Swords. How interesting. Okay, that's great. I don't need to roll on the inspiration table. This right here did it for me. Okay, that's gonna be fine. So at the top of the hill, sure enough, as I guess you would expect, the top of the hill is a monument. And the monument also has, it's not a statue of a warrior this time. If it is just indeed a big, large stone monument. And it states here, in celebration of the great orc hero, Gruk Nar-Zir. That name probably won't mean anything to you guys unless you remember way back when. Gruk Nar-Zir was the orc warrior who killed Prince Nariman in the monument we found back in the wetlands, and this is a monument to him. And it goes on with many honorifics about Gruk Nar-Zir. Hero of this, hero of that, hero of this battle, hero of that battle. Great leader of Clan Nar-Zir. May his glory live eternal. As he has driven the elves from this land. That sort of thing. Yeah. So he makes note of this. He knows a lot now about Gruk Nar-Zir, the heroic head of Clan Nar-Zir, King of Swords. Very, very appropriate. Well, even a good oracle for this. So, you know, it's really meant for more of an intellectual giant for Kings of Swords. Swords represent intellect of the mind. but that's fine for our particular sakes of oracles. A warrior is ever appropriate, even if he is a mental giant among orcs. A hero of his kind who has driven the elves from the swamp. I guess that's great. Congratulations, you booted the elves from the swamp. But nevertheless, we'll remember that for the future because Izzek learns a few things. I'm going to ask the Oracle. This is being a kind of a lore-heavy thing. We keep this for the journals. Is there anything else from the statue that Izzek can make note of? Let's see, what else could be going on? Let's say yes. Is there anything else at the top of the hill that Izzek needs to find? We'll see if he can search and find anything. 6, extreme yes. Wow. Okay. This looks pretty special. This is hidden off the road. But this is obviously a fairly important monument. At least from, Izzek's a Nightkin. Nightkin do build monuments to themselves and their heroes pretty frequently. It's also pretty frequent. They're normally near, and why it would be out here in the middle of nowhere is a little strange. Normally these monuments are revered for sacred places. Is this a sacred place somehow? He's just going to do a spot hidden. He's going to search around here and see if he can find anything. He's going to search at the monument and do a spot hidden. See if he can find anything. 13. What is Izzek's spot hidden? This is only a 10. I think I'm going to push it. Let's do it again. 14. He doesn't find anything special at the monument himself. I'm going to give myself a disheartened condition for pushing that and failing to see it. So he starts searching around the hill itself to see if he can find anything around the monument, around the hill. It's going to indicate if there's some reason why it was built here, who built it, any sort of knowledge of that. So he doesn't find anything at the monument itself. Maybe he'll go back down to the stone statues and search them a little more thoroughly. I'll do the same search for anything. He searches these stone statues just to see if there's anything special about them that might give him more information. Also a spot hidden. Really? I can't make a dice roll to save my life today? Well, we don't have to go that route. So I guess I will treat this failure a little different. Just remember, as I said, just because you fail dice rolls in games, don't let those dice rolls kill you dead. Don't let those dice rolls stop you from doing things. Just give it a bit of minus or take a negative penalty for it. So I'm going to say Izzek searches these statues, but he's sickly from his disease. He's really not feeling well at all. And he's taking a considerable amount of time searching these statues. I'm going to say Izzek takes another D6 points of damage because he spends such a fair amount of time. He's not feeling well while he's doing it. He takes another point of damage. But he does notice these statues, they are on stone pedestals too, but they're a little off kilter. There is a stone square base to each of these statues. These statues are resting on, but the statue is a little off kilter from that stone base by just like a few inches. He lays his back in it and just slightly managed to swivel the statues. And not all of them are necessarily that way. And I'm going to make a strength check for some of these. But we'll see. There's 6 statues. How many of these statues need to be swiveled? I'm gonna roll a d6 and see. All 6 of these statues need to be swiveled. So he notices that the first statue comes in, it is a little off kilter. So he tries to straighten. These statues have been this way for a long time. So it takes time for him to kind of clean the muck off the bottoms of these statues. And he lays his shoulder into it. He uses his rope, maybe some grappling hook, to try to get him to test out. And I'll try to Maybe using a rope, and with Pork Chop's help, I'm going to give him a boon on these rolls. I'm going to make a couple strength rolls with boon. I'm not going to do 6. I'm going to do 1 success there, 1 success there, 1 success there. So we're going to say 3 successes. Some of the statues stick, some turn. But he's able to rotate each of these statues just a little bit by a few inches using a rope and Pork Chop's might. And they all swivel until they click noticeably into the rock formation at the end. As that last one clicks into place, there's a grinding noise at the top of the hill. He goes up to the top of the hill, and sure enough, that big stone monument to Gruk Narzir has moved back, opening up. What do you want to open up? A hatch? A passageway? Just a lid? I don't know how much we want to get into it. I say what? Let's, since I don't know for sure what I want to do with this. Maybe I will roll on the scale. If it's like a small or moderate, it's just going to open up a hatch. A large or immense, I'm going to say something bigger. Like maybe an actual hole until underneath this hill. Let's do it. Let's roll a d6. 3, moderate. Okay, so it opens up a large hatch underneath this monument, and it's deep. Inside this hatch, I'm not going to say it's trapped. I think he overcame what is in there. What does it reveal? I hadn't really put much thought into this. What does this hatch reveal? Is there something of how do I want to say this? Maybe all right, let's do a full thing. Let's roll under here. Maybe now might be a good time for an inspiration table. No? Yes? No? Yeah, let's do an inspiration table. We'll treat this as a thing. Let's roll a d20 on the thing and see what it inspires here. Unless I want to roll another tarot card. Let's do a tarot card first and see if it inspires me on anything in particular. I don't know. This doesn't sound like a tarot card thing. It's a little too general. But let's see. Oh, the Hermit. Okay, well. Interesting. I guess I'm going to keep it simple with my interpretation of this. One thing, only one thing rests in this hatch under the earth. That's a major arcana card. Something important is under here. One thing of great importance. Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to roll on the thing now here to see if it gives me another idea of maybe what it is, just a little bit more. A 7. A device. An important device rests under this monument. Let me roll on the power level. I think we're going to decide it's going to be a formidable power level. I'm not sure. I'm going to make note. But I think we got what we want here. I'm just going to make a note of myself that a powerful device is under this hatch. So Izzek pulls out this powerful device. I don't think I have a look for this particular device yet on it. Unless I want to try to give it an attribute maybe. An action's not going to work. It's not really what I want. Maybe I will roll an action 12 rescue. And a 4, ooh, corrupted. Rescue corrupted. Oh, I've got a good thought for this. I've got a good thought for us. But now I just got to figure out what it is. Okay, I like this. Occasionally I roll things, well, often as you've seen, I roll devices and things that I've kept for quite a while that come to play later. I've made note, a formidable device with attributes of rescue corrupted. I already know how this is going to come into play. I just need to figure out what the device looks like and how it's going to come into play. As we know, as I've mentioned already, Izzek has a certain longsword named Aldir who is cursed and corrupted and still maintains that curse even now, even after the death of his master and after the cleansing of the evil of the vacant empire. It still maintains that cursed status. This device is going to help in lifting that curse, but that's for another time. I'll have to ponder that, what this device looks like. That orc and that elf, Grug Narzek and Prince Nariman, are deeply intertwined with each other. Opponents, enemies in life. That's going to come into play at a later date. Let's mosey on down the road. Izzek isn't sure what to do with this device, but it's powerful, it's formidable, he can tell, and important. What does it mean? He's not sure. Why is there a hidden hatch in the middle of this swamp dedicated to the ancient orc hero that slayed Prince Nariman and freed this part of the lands from the vacant empire rule? Izzek does his best. He closes this hatch back up, puts this monument back in shape before he leaves. He's feeling sickly though. He's not feeling well. He's a little disheartened because he's ill. So he hesitantly now, it's nighttime again. The moon has risen up. He slept throughout the day, although he slept restlessly at best. But night has fallen. It's dark in these swamps. And he gets back on the road. Travels back down to the road. If anything, as he goes further down the road, further along in the swamp, the canopy gets thicker and thicker as he goes along the swampy canopy. It seems, I won't say the ground rises, but becomes a bit drier, becomes a bit thornier, a bit overgrown, a bit drier, more woody in this particular area. Because we're getting close to the witch. We are at the witch. So, I think I do want to continue here. The area becomes kind of blanketed in thickets, overgrowth. You can't see into the swamp as much as you could before. The trail remains relatively clear. Izzek does have to light a torch. It is actually so dark now at night. This canopy is so thick, even with the full moon in the sky, he can no longer see very clearly in this dim light. That's how little even the light of the moon does not make it down into these thickets. Maybe I shouldn't say a torch. He lights his lamp. I don't think he wants to risk lighting the forest on fire. So he lights his lamp and he continues and he makes his way through these thicket areas, and it gets harder to see much further than a foot in front of his face through this thick path through the forest. As Izzek finally comes across the clearing after another hour or couple hour ride through here, Pork Chop and him stumble finally across the clearing, and he can see the moonlight now shining down in a large clearing. The forest is old. These trees are ancient, knotty, man trees. And there in this clearing, he comes across what can only be the witch of Bent Oak Swamp. And much to his shock and to his surprise, the witch of Bent Oak Swamp is, where is she? I got a token out here for her somewhere. Oh, there she is. Something Izzek would not expect. She is a forest giant, and she truly must be a giant among her kind, for she is mammoth. This clearing is huge. Behind her is a hut made of wood of such an immense size it could easily fit 10 men breast to breast or foot to heel across. And she sits on a giant oak stump, smoking a long pipe, awake and staring at him, seemingly not at all shocked at his presence. She just calmly watches him as he dismounts. He does not even know what to think about the situation. After a moment, he approaches and he says, my name is, and the witch interrupts. He says, yes, Izzek Loosejaw. You're awfully late, goblin who is not a goblin. I've been expecting you for some time now. And that, my friends, believe it or not, is where we're going to fade to black. I'm actually taking a break from my Dragonbane campaign at this point. We're going to do something different. I have been playing this campaign now for 6 months. Close to 40 hours worth of videos on this Dragonbane solo campaign. I think I have taken about much of a deep dive into Dragonbane solo at the moment that I really can. I can't think I could dive much deeper. But this is not it for my channel at all. I have plans for the future. Who knows what my next in-depth, slightly obsessive, long-form, deep dive roleplay game is going to be next. I've got some ideas. My next video, I'm going to post a video basically with my thoughts on my campaign. Lessons learned, things I did right, things I did wrong. There's no such thing as wrong in solo play. But you know what I mean. Things that I've learned that I was not expecting to learn. I'm going to give kind of maybe an in-depth review of Dragonbane from a solo perspective. With 40 hours clocked in, I think I've got a pretty good idea how Dragonbane works. So I might give a bit of a review, what I think about it as a game and as a solo game. And then yes, this Dragonbane campaign will continue. It's not done. As you know, I've talked a lot about Izzek's adventures in the Northern Nightkin Kingdoms. I do want to continue those adventures there as well, but it's going to be under a different format. And I think I'm going to take a break and play another game for a little while before I come back to Dragonbane for Izzek's second chapter in the Northern Kingdoms. Anyway, stay tuned next for my Dragonbane summary video. And then after that, I will post a video of what's next for this channel. As I said, I've got plenty of thoughts and ideas. Thank you for joining me for this long campaign. I appreciate it. I had a lot of fun. As you can imagine, I give the short version, I give Dragonbane a thumbs up. I wouldn't be playing Dragonbane for 6 months if I didn't enjoy it. But my longer form opinion is coming up. Take care, everyone.